Hey everyone, you're watching The Esperanza 243. I'm excited today. This is book reading video, and according to my book, this is the last book reading video for Leatherby Adventures Book 1. Maybe you guys can help me out with my second book for the series. I'm having such a hard time creating a second legend. It's hard to write books when you're supposed to be creating a legend from scratch. Yeah, it is. Anyways, let's get to it. As they walked to the popcorn-stringed staircase, the front door opened with a bang. The cold wind was blowing harder than ever, and blew swirls of snow inside. The siblings shivered. They could hear footsteps entering the house. Danny and Guinevere turned around. He gasped. "Grandfather!" he exclaimed. He ran toward Grandfather Leatherby and hugged him tight. Then he saw something in the corner of his eyes. There was a pair of legs with thick boots on its feet. Still hugging his grandfather, he looked up. "Make up your mind, clouds." I want it to be sunny, even though there should be snow on the ground. The person was a woman with the height of 5 feet 5 inches. Her hair was a shiny gray with a hint of brown. She even had hazel eyes, which were gleaming with loyalty. "This must be Danny. Oh, he looks so much like his father," Danny heard in his mind. "My father," he whispered. "Who are you?" he asked clearly. Grandfather Leatherby laughed wholeheartedly. "Dear me, what an entrance we've given. I was hoping this would be a surprise." "Now, Colin, there's no need for this. Surely you don't remember what happened those 3 adventures, do you?" the woman asked. Guinevere gasped. She had a British accent. "I surely remember those 3, he replied proudly. "The 4th and 5th adventures are a bit hazy to me. Remember—" "Colin, dear, you're going to spoil everything. If you do want them to know, they ought to at least have their adventures in this creepy old house." "It's not creepy or old. Our house is simply an antique. Do you know how rare original houses are in the nearby town? We barely have any neighbors as it is. "Oh dear, you've gone off topic. Why don't you just call in and find out if dinner is ready? You seem to be better than I." Grandfather Leatherby sighed. "Lenore, could you come here, please?" he called out. He looked at his grandchildren. His dear friend entered the area within a minute. "Lord Leatherby, we weren't expecting you until tonight," she said. "Yes, well, we were too excited. Is the dinner set out on the table?" She shook her head. "Not yet, Lord Leatherby. I shall go place another setting and tell the cook," she replied. She curtsied and walked backwards until she reached a door. Why is it he only gives surprises to those who are family?" Danny heard in his mind. "That is odd. Why do I keep hearing—" He started to think to himself. "Come on, Danny, let's go with your old grandfather, would you?" Grandfather Leatherby said. Danny let go of his waist. "Let's go eat dinner, shall we?" The 4 of them headed to the dining room. "Evelyn, could you tell us what it was like writing the Leatherby legends?" Guinevere asked bluntly. Their guest stared at her with a blank look. Their guest stared at her with a blank look. Then she shook her head. Then she shook her head. How dare you talk to me with that manner, as if I was some common person, she cried. Guinevere gasped. I didn't mean... I'm sorry, please forgive me. Ginny, not now. I thought we were going to wait until tomorrow, Danny whispered to her. His sister kneeled down. I'm sorry. We'll wait. Until then, I'm curious as to who this woman is. Aren't you the least bit curious? He nodded. She does look a bit like Evelyn, don't you think? She nodded as well. During dinner, the four of them hardly talked about what they deeply wanted to talk about. Danny kept hearing the woman's thoughts. Why did she call me Evelyn? How could she remember me? They look so much like their parents. Why is it Daddy keeps looking at me like that? There were other thoughts, but only about other things that had no connection with him and his sister. When dinner was almost over, Danny spoke up. Guinevere and I are going to the library tomorrow to find books about our family. Would you like to come with us, ma'am? He asked the pretty woman. Her eyes gleamed. I'd like to, but I think you two would prefer privacy to have some excitement. Huh? Danny thought to himself. What does she mean by that? That would be nice, Guinevere started to say. Danny and I had a little adventure today, and we think it might have some connections to our family. I'm sure it does, my dear. Oh, I'm sure it does, my dear one, Grandfather Leatherby thought to himself. Danny heard that. I certainly remember Evelyn. It has been a long time since I've seen her. Oh, well, that just nicked my idea in the bud. I certainly remember Evelyn. It has been a long time since I've seen her. Excuse me. Ginny, what are you doing? Danny nearly cried. She looked at him carefully. Of course, we can't tell you what happened. Danny and I want to make sure we are right. Of course, I understand, the woman said. Then Danny remembered something. Oh, Grandfather, I just remembered something. When you said there was some magic in the house, what did you mean by that? Oh, I can't tell you anything about that just yet. There is one thing I could tell you. It comes from the adventures. Each one you learn something new, his grandfather replied. He shook his head, almost in disappointment. He got me. The young'un got a sip of what he wanted. Grandfather Leatherby thought to himself. He continued shaking his head. Eventually, Danny and Guinevere discovered there was no book called Leatherby Legends. Hang on, lady! Then how was it they saw the book in the past, but not the present? They even had suspicions on the mysterious woman. That is another story, though. That's the end of the first adventure, living in their grandfather's house, she finishes. I was right, the story was about us, Dennis says. She sighs. That's not quite right. There were a lot of parts that you were not familiar with. But still, how is it that woman looked like Virginia, our great aunt? And Dennis, Gwendolyn, it's time for bed, someone tells them as she enters the room. The brother and sister turn to look at her. Dennis groans as Gwen smiles. We're coming, Letitia. Come on, Benny, let's go to bed. But I want to hear more. Don't worry. There will be another adventure to tell tomorrow, she says as they leave the living room. The end. Hang on a second, my dog is really barking. I love that song. I think I'm going to do a karaoke with that song, if there is a YouTube video for it. Anyways, I have not decided what my next book will be for the book reading videos, because many of them I do want published before I read them on YouTube. Or if I, well, never mind. It's kind of hard to explain. Or, I mean, it's really not that hard to explain, I just... Alright, time check. Not bad. The thing is, I want to do more book reading videos, but I can't decide which ones to read out loud because I really want my books to be published. And once they're published, I'm not going to do book reading videos for them because I'm pretty sure that there will be times when I actually do a book reading video at a public place. So, and plus some of my books have copyright issues, so I'm kind of nervous to read those out loud. Anyways, I've already read a magical book and a mermaid book. If you can think of another topic that I might have written about, comment below, please. That would be awesome. I don't know what to do without you. Alright, I believe that is it. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you guys. I think I've already told you, but I'm not sure. I got a job! I mean, it's not permanent, it's a temporary thing. They still want, it's with my group homes that I go to. Or it's the group homes that helps me with life skills and stuff like that. I got a job there as like a janitor kind of deal. But they are certain that I will be able to find, you know, an actual job, so it's the temporary, they've given me a temporary job, and during my job there, I still have to do job search stuff. Anyways, today I'm also going to do a lyric video, the last lyric video for Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. After that, there are instrumental tracks. One of them doesn't have a title because it's actually a bonus track. Anyways, the bonus track, I don't know what to do with the bonus track. Comment below if you have any ideas. I believe that's it. So, I guess I will see you guys next week. This is DS Esperanza 243, signing off.